What's going on, y'all? It's the kid J Nolan here. Ever since the end of last year, it seems like there's a whole new conversation surrounding Master P, his name, his honor, the way he treats people, how he spends money with people, you know what I'm saying, honors his business deals. All of those things are starting to come into question a little bit, man. For those of y'all that might not know, Fat Trel, which is an artist that he was dealing with a few years ago, he recently did an interview on No Jumper. And in this interview, he talked about the fact that he was dealing with P, but he really was not intending to deal with P on a musical level. Like P reached out to him and was like, hey man, I love what you're doing. I want you to play in Menace to Society 2. I'm trying to buy the rights to that film and I want to shoot it. So he reached out to Fat Trel and his people. He was like, hey, I need y'all to come move out to Cali though. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to be in Hollywood with me so we could shoot this thing. I'm going to get the rights, blah, blah, blah. You know, it could be up to a year, 2 years. I need you to move out here. Fat Trel says that he wasn't even that much of a Master P fan because, of course, he was a little bit younger when P was at the top of the game. So he says he came up bumping, you know, more Rick Ross and other people like that, you know, the contemporaries that came in the early to mid 2000s. So he had respect for P, but his manager, who was a little bit older, was really the huge fan, you know what I mean? So they ended up making that move, and he said he stayed out in Cali for 7 months. P said he was going to pay him like a stipend or a certain amount of money per month while they shoot the film. He said that entire time he was out there was no word of the film. They didn't shoot nothing. However, they ended up meeting all the time in a music studio, right? And at that time, he was able to meet Alley Boy, and Alley Boy was supposed to play in the movie as well. So him, P, Alley Boy were all in the studio meeting up all the time, making music. All of a sudden, they became the Louis V boys or something like that. But Fat Trel is basically saying that he fell into that situation just due to the fact that he wanted to play in the Menace to Society 2 reboot that never came to fruition. You know what's crazy is when I seen this clip, it took me back to when Kodak Black and Master P had their disagreement or their discrepancy. You know what I'm saying? I feel like sometimes we hold P to this standard, like, you know, he was such a great businessman. He was such an iconic figure coming out of the South, doing it when Southern artists wasn't getting the type of love like they're getting today. He did it independently. He had money. He was putting his team on. Like, he did everything right at that time, or at least everything that he could within his power and knowledge at that time. But I think we continue to hold him in that same light when some things may not still be consistent to this day. I don't know him personally, so I can't attack his character. But it just makes me think back like, dang, was Kodak really wrong? You know what I'm saying? Because P came out and Fat Trel talked about how P went on an interview on the Breakfast Club and basically was like, well, you know, Fat Trel, he just wanted a record deal. He wasn't patient enough or whatever. That was his way of like answering the question when they asked him where he was. And I feel like if you really for somebody, if you really want to see them win, if you really want to be a helpful resource in their story, the first opportunity somebody asks you about somebody that you reached out to help, you wouldn't throw them under the bus, right? And the same thing he did with Kodak Black. He threw him under the bus and was like, he should have came with me. I told him I'll do this, that, this, and that, and this, and that for him. You know what I'm saying? I'll protect him from the industry and make sure he's getting his money and this, that, and the third, because he claimed I was taking money or reserving money, withholding it from him. Then Romeo came out at the end of last year and said what he said about his pops, withholding money, taking his money, reallocating his money over the years to pay off taxes and debt and things of that nature. So now it's like, man, is this dude as solid as we always thought he was? I don't know. I can't say. I have no dealings with him, but it does definitely bring everything full circle into question for me, because based on his narrative, I know for a fact that interview he did with Breakfast Club made me look at Kodak Black a certain way. Now, Kodak Black definitely contributes to that perception, right? Because he is not squeaky clean himself. There's a lot of questionable stuff that he's done in regards to women, in regards to the industry, in regards to talking about people, in regards to poking his business and stuff that has nothing to do with him as far as his contemporaries are concerned and starting issues. All of those things definitely are withstanding. However, I am questioning that one little bout with Master P. Maybe they both were in the wrong at the same time. That's very possible as well, but it's just something to think about. Now, some of y'all may not even know who Fat Trel is. Some of y'all may not care who Fat Trel is. Just check him out, man. Or at least check out the interview that he did with No Jumper, because He seems like a very level-headed person. I had never really seen any of his interviews or anything like that to know what his personality was really like outside of music. But he seemed like a level-headed person. He seemed humble enough of a spirit that I didn't get the idea that he was trying to transform a narrative. He really was like, man, I don't like talking down on people. I wouldn't talk down on them. But, you know, when I seen what was going down with him and Romeo was talking about the money and all that stuff, he was just like, yep, I get it. And me being somebody who's so much of an advocate for the music community, especially artists, songwriters, creators, people that have immense talent and need direction, I'm always going to advocate for those people. I'm always going to look at things with a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, you know, like, hey, maybe this person really was done wrong. You know, that's kind of what I lead with. So many people get taken advantage of in the industry. Fat Trel had no deal. He was looking for a deal. He really didn't have no experience being in the game. He was coming off the stoop, being a rapper. You know what I'm saying? He met somebody who was considered an idol. His manager loved P. I could see him being swept into that and perhaps doing things that weren't all the way in alignment with his vision just to give himself an opportunity. And I feel like sometimes people will put that dollar on the fishing rod and wave it in front of you because you don't know no better, and they use that against you. Now, this is all just generally speaking in jest. I'm not saying that that's what P did necessarily, but according to Fat Trel's story, it's starting to feel more and more like that's what it is. I'm not here to smear his name. I'm not on a smear campaign against Master P, but nobody is above reproach, right? So at this point, I've said everything I needed to say. Now you could go check out the interview. I'm going to sign out. And if you're an artist, songwriter, producer, or manager representing an artist, and you need some information, you need some guidance, you trying to get ahead, you want to get your music in TV and film, you want to get some money off your masters and your publishing, you've been running in circles, man, go to realjnolan.com, check out the Pen Game Portfolio Volume 2, man. I got all that information, plus so much more in the book. And if you need some direct one-on-one help, you could book a consultation with me on that very same website. It don't really cost that much. A consultation is only $50. $50 is such a small investment, I'm telling you, because once you turn around and apply the game that I'm going to give you, you're going to make so much more back. All right? That's all I got for y'all, man. Much love and respect. I'll see y'all in the next one. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit the post notification bell for all updates. Peace.
Got my legal hustle, welcome to the trap. I could blow a stack, bet I make it back. You can hit my line if you need a track, but we can't even talk if it ain't about the bag. Got my legal hustle, welcome to the trap. I could blow a stack, bet I make it back. You can hit my line if you need a track, but we can't even talk if it ain't about the bag.